Let's have a look at Home Depot. First off, read this disclaimer carefully. Then do your good deed of the day by liking and subscribing. So we can find it under home improvement. Home Depot is here. They're in the fixed house business. Yeah, 11.6% here from the 52-week low and 15% away from the highs. Here is Home Depot's website. If you live in Europe, they have just blocked it because of GDPR, but this is how their website looks. Yeah, I think they should have the budget to create a proper website because there are investors in Europe, which means that it's very important for them in order to fulfill their investor relations expectations because many in Europe, they do have stocks in Home Depot as part of their international stock portfolios. But yeah, okay. So here's the chart. It's up a lot since it went public, but it's been public for a long time now. We can see that it is currently testing this very important moving average, the red 200-week moving average. Yeah, let's get the color here. So test, success, test, success, test. So 3 tests now, and then we do have a liftoff last week. Based on some of the prior tests, there is reason to expect more gains. If we measure a bit, might be 10-ish% upside if the rally continues. So all in all, this looks good. When we go here to the daily data points, it's a bit of a strong move, but it's not so strong that all the gains have likely been made. Looking at weekly RSI and PPO, this looks pretty decent. There's good reason to think that there's more left here in the tank. Looking at the dailies as well, it was a bit of a strong move though on a Friday, but I don't think this is a major. It's not like all the gains have been made. Okay, so all in all, the technicals here look good. So let's go into my notes now, and in the notes, so let's write Home Depot, Depot, like that. Yeah, it's on the other themes, and in this case, we have 200 VMA support, and this is confirmed support. I think I will give the bulls, give them a healthy 7 on this one. Next, we will look at the seasonality. So here to the left, you do see that the trend line shows that over the last 5 years in green, 7 years in blue, and 10 years in red, it's pretty decent seasonality here into 17-ish of April. Then there usually is some weakness into later April, but then strength. When we look here at the current month, which is March, April, it is the it is the second best month looking at the sum. So November is even better for Home Depot, but April here is pretty good. 51% here is the sum. So that's good. A lot of green here in April. It's very rare. Actually, going back here to 2007, there was only one red month for April, and that was in 2015. So it's a really good month. So far, we have 0.76% here for 2022, which sort of like is the one we are comparing to. But yeah, it's a new month, and there's good reason to be bullish for April. May, it's a bit more messy, and June is weak. But in terms of the seasonality that is most relevant for us now, I will actually give a 7 here on seasonality as well. It's really bullish. The problem, though, is that you saw that May and June were not really that bullish. So, but, this is the beginning of April, so, there's no reason not to be bullish based on the seasonality. Next, let's have a look at the fundamentals. So in blue, you see the price-book ratio. It's okay. It's been a bit of a pullback. Looking at price to sales here in copper color, we are very low, so that's bullish. Price earnings in green, very low as well. Yield is 2.4%, which is also pretty decent yield. When we go here into the forecasts, 31 analysts are covering the stock, and the average price target is 11% above us, which fits also very nicely with the technical projection we made based on previous rallies from the 200-week moving average. So that's bullish. The ratings is a strong buy. A lot of holds, but overall, the fundamentals here look good. What I really liked to see is price to sales and price earnings being really low. Yeah, I think I'll give a 7 here to the bulls. So let's look at relative performance. Long term, comparing it against the S&P 500, 89% positive correlation, really, really strong. Bear in mind that Home Depot is one of the key components of the S&P 500. 83% with IER, which is the real estate ETF, and 90% with the XHB, which is the home builders ETF. Short term, 59% with S&P 500, 45% with real estate, and 55% with the home builders. Short and long term, the strongest correlation we got was with the XHB, the home builders. Here is the chart. More messy chart than what we saw with Home Depot. Potential resistance here with the blue 100-week moving average. RSI is stretched, but not like in danger territory. But it's in the easy gains have likely been made territory. Daily data points, a bit of a similar message. We aren't overbought yet, but we aren't really in the easy zone either. So there's a gain, a breakout above the 50-day moving average in green. Good. Looking at seasonality. Yeah, it should be more rally here. Looking to the left into later April. April, it is the best month for the home builders ETF. That's good. 65%, well, 66-ish. A bit more messy though. Some years bullish, some years bearish. So let's now compare Home Depot with the XHB. Oops, pressing the wrong button. Like that. Let's get the XHB. Like that. XHB. Oops. Important to, and also to check, because especially if you use a platform where many tickers could be represent different stocks in different countries. So yeah, you got to pick the right country, the right exchange. Nice Yarka. Yes, that's correct. So this is the relationship between Home Depot and Home Builders ETF. You see that we could argue that this is a double bottom, which is definitively bullish. It means that Home Depot has abnormally underperformed the Home Builders ETF, which is bullish if there are signs of that coming to an end. And given the low levels here, you could argue that this is abnormally low, that maybe there could be a turnaround. Looking at the daily data points, the turnaround is beginning a bit, but not like big yet. So let's look at the seasonality. Yeah, a bit weak into mid-April, but then it picks up strength. So looking into early May, the seasonality has a tendency to favor Home Depot over the Home Builders ETF. Here's the seasonality here for April. So you see that usually looking at the sum, the gains are a bit mute, but going back to 2012, April is a very green month for Home Depot. 2020 and 2021 were bearish. That's a bit of an issue, but then again, 2022 was very bullish. May, however, it's recently been rather red. But April is the most important month for us now, and that one is bullish. So going here into my table, I think I will give Home Depot, I think I'll give it a 6 here on relative performance. So this looks good. So to sum up, we do get a 6.8 in favor of the bulls. 200 weekly moving average support is the key line in the sand. We do expect it to hold. If we were to lose this very important moving average, then that would be bad. And that would sort of neutralize a lot of the bullish points that have been made. Okay, so one of the tools that certainly has garnered a lot of attention is ChatGPT. So it is very cautious when it comes to any kind of data about finance. Same thing with healthcare. So if you are going to use a GPT for this type of analysis, you need to give it a proper prompt. So what I said here is to answer me as if I am a professor in finance. Could you give me a SWOT analysis of Home Depot presented as a table view? And then it is able to actually do that. So it will give me like a basic SWOT analysis. So it looks at the strengths, what are the weaknesses. Okay, there's a dependence on the US market, limited international presence, supply chain disruptions, opportunities, threats. So in order to sort of feed GPT with more data, you can go to the investor relations page for, like in this case, Home Depot. And of course, to read through all of this would take some time. So what you can do is to put the data into GPT. Okay, so what I did here is that I went to one of the annual reports, the recent one, and then I pasted in a ton of data into GPT because that enables it to give a more specific SWOT analysis. And now it goes ahead and does that. Like now it really goes more deeper into the data, talking about GAP estimates and assumptions, like fluctuations in real estate market conditions. So the more data you feed it, the better it will be able to ask you those kinds of to answer those kinds of questions. So yeah, it's a very interesting tool, and it's a good way to do like deep dives into data that otherwise would take you a lot of time. Yeah, but yeah, we do have time left here, so let's look at some various stocks that's been in the news. Let's look at Tesla. So yeah, it's a bit on a move here, but yeah, I do prefer to get in early on things. Let's look at NIO. Maybe there's more opportunity here. So NIO, definitively, it's pulled back very, 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 very substantially from the highs. It's challenging the purple 20-week moving average and the blue 100-day moving average. If we were to get a breakout, that would be bullish, but I do prefer to buy before the breakout happens because then I have a buffer. Let's look at Microsoft. It's been a lot in the news recently due to GPT. Yeah, big rally, but it's going to open a bit lower today. Yeah, but it's one of those situations where the market cap is very big and a lot of the GPT news, or well, broader open AI news is likely priced into the stock already. This is not like a small cap. But yeah, things are of course looking good for Microsoft. It's still a bit. Well, we haven't seen yet how Microsoft will like seriously compete with Google, but there's reason to think that what they are achieving now with OpenAI, it's pretty much a big deal. And yeah, there's good reason to think that they will be able to pull off something very interesting when it comes to the advertising space. Okay. Next, let's look at some other stocks. Let's look at AMD. Yeah, flattening out a bit here, looking at the last week candlesticks. Let's look at Intel, INTC, like that. Yeah, touching resistance here, so I'm not a huge fan of buying stocks when they are testing resistance. What begs the question, is it shortable? It has broken out above the 200-day moving average in red. So you have like resistance and the breakout. Seasonality, however, is a bit mediocre. April is actually recently been a rather bearish month for Intel, so this might actually be a bit of a short candidate. Let's look a bit here at price book. It's elevated looking back to late 2022, but long term it's still low. Price earnings, however, is rather relatively high, and price to sales it's not high, but it's not low either. Let's look at the forecasts. Yeah, okay, so the average price target is below us. So yeah, maybe there was a bit of a short here on Intel. But yeah, we looked at a bunch of stuff. So yeah, Home Depot, all in all, it looks bullish. But it's completely contingent on that 200-week moving average holding. But yeah, things are looking nice for that stock. We also looked at some other ones, and there were some resistance levels here and there. And some of these are in large cap stocks as well. And if we have multiple stocks, right, large caps that are at resistance, then it could of course negatively affect a stock like Home Depot, which is a part of various ETFs, where if there is some outflow of liquidity, it's going to affect, of course, the ones that are in the basket. But yeah. Whatever you do, of course, you do want to let the trend be your friend and get VIP access on diamondarm.com.